It's some peeps. It's some peeps. So silly. It's some peeps. So, good evening, peeps. So, should transgender... I keep having these conversations with people, and they're like... They make me like, I want y'all to leave comments down the bottom. Don't just have me out here talking and ain't nobody participating. Y'all can say something. Sometimes I just want to know what y'all think about this foolishness that be going on around here. This, see, wouldn't be the same if I ain't do something. So, transgender folks, and should they disclose? Yes. Conversation over. No. Yes, because people are more and more likely to hit, shoot, beat you. It's for their own safety. Because, like my cousin said, what if there was a man who was completely straight, but was led astray by the surgery? You see me, I was going through diplomacy in my mind, how to say it with diplomacy. And they've been distracted by the surgeries that this person has had. And, hyoid shaved down, the whole gambit. Because since transgender men, transgender women, I don't know which way that sentence goes, to be honest. So if I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. Seriously, because I don't know. If a transgender woman, I think that's what I'm trying to say, goes out with a guy who is straight, and he's been led astray by the surgeries, the hyoid isn't there, there's a lot of wig going on these days. And there's a lot of makeup going on these days. So if he's been led astray by all these things that are typically associated with female, and he's gone out with this person a couple of times, and, well, not just a couple, but these days only take a couple for some odd reason. I know my hand's doing a lot. The time comes when they want to be intimate, and he finds out, however he finds out. If they're fully done, he won't know. How does that work? Like, can you tell? I always end up asking myself questions while I'm talking. Can you tell? Once they've had everything redone, can you tell? Like, is there scar tissue? Is there a tuck or a stitch or a marking in the flesh of sutures? Or is there some indication? Like, because how would they know? See, these are the things that come into play when you start playing God and doing things surgically. So this happens, and maybe he never knows, unless he wants to have children, and then the discussion is had that there's no uterus. But let's say by some other means, a conversation with another person, or they happen to divulge, and he snaps out. And he hits this person, or beats this person, or hurts this person. Is he accountable for his behavior? Of course. Should he be locked up and thrown away the key? No, because he was misled. But what questions do you ask one to find out? Because do all criminals of whatever sort, thieves, murderers, rapists, molesters, the gambit, Do they lead with a conversation about their crime? I think not. Because I have found out about things down the road that I was not privy to. So they don't lead with these conversations. Is there a difference? That this person has chosen not to lead with that conversation? Or should all things be divulged in a relationship after a certain amount of time? And what is that time? How much time is enough time that you should tell everybody whatever? Because y'all know I got not even stuff I've done, just stuff. And I didn't particularly want to tell anybody until I got strong enough to be able to do it, and was still quite frightful. So I wonder. And transgender women don't consider themselves men anymore. So they don't understand the concept of this man feeling as though he's engaged in gay sex, even though it's a rebuild. Like, that woman does not believe that they've done anything wrong because they now have the outward anatomy of a woman. So they don't think that they're doing something wrong because they're women. And the time to speak is once they've had a conversation about a family or a more serious relationship. And that's why they haven't said anything. Like, that's the reasoning, I believe. So what do you do with that? Like, did they have to say something? Yes, but they need to say something. I think they need to say something, but when is the question? Like, when should every individual who has had these surgeries, and there are some women now, I can always tell when a woman is a man, when a woman has been a woman and is now a transgender man. I think that's how you say that. I still ain't sure. Anyway, I can tell when a transgender man, or even a woman who, what did my daughter say is the appropriate verbiage? When they think of themselves, I don't know what the verbiage is. When they think of themselves as being masculine women, because you can't say butch or any of that anymore. That's out of the question. I want to say all kinds of things, but I'm trying to respect people because it's only fair. I'm going to figure it out so that I can have these conversations and have people talk about their experiences and me ask them questions. I'm gonna get there. I wanted to get comfortable with me speaking before I introduced other people. So this is more of, if I can help somebody by trying to flesh these things out, and it's also helping me be able to think on the fly. So sorry, y'all know I get off topic. Okay, so I can always tell when men when a woman has been a woman and now she's a male of some sort or kind. So for some reason, it's just always obvious to me. I don't know if women can just feel that can't be true. Well, because men don't. I've sat and watched men hit on a woman who they thought was a woman, who they thought was a natural woman. She was not, but I watched. I don't know him. And he might have hauled off and been like, beep, when you champion. You know how people do. Carry on. Because if your spidey senses didn't work, who am I? My spidey senses work. I be knowing. So, I don't know. With women, it's harder to hide. Because, you would have to get rid of your breasts. They have to make a whole new, and what does that even involve or look like? That does something to my brain. I don't even know what to even say on that subject. Like, next. So, I know what, I've seen a couple documentaries where they followed transgender women, and I think they were prostitutes, and I think it was in Miami. And I'm telling you, they are better at acting like women than we are. I mean, mannerisms, like, to me it was overt and too much because I don't do it. But I know women who act like they act, and it's okay, because that overt behavior is, some guys are thrilled with that overt behavior, and that's how I believe some transgender women get by, because they're sensitive enough to know what a woman's thinking, but portray themselves strong enough or overt enough because we're so overt as a culture now. We just say anything, like music isn't romantic. It's drop it, pop it, throw it, break it down. I sound old. I said drop it, pop it. And I don't even care, because I don't understand half of what's going on. Like, that's not music. We're being paid to disrespect ourselves and our people, and we're getting paid very well for it. And it's not being distributed amongst us, but it's affecting all of us. So, I love my people, and I love that we're so creative. That's being a miscreant. And only the colonizer can make something beautiful into a miscreation. But you can't put stuff in their hands that you mean for good and think that it won't go awry. I don't blame the European. I blame us too. But I blame their nature. I always come around to that, because if we had been left the hell alone, we'd be all right. But we're going to get through these trials and tribulations. Damn it. If I have anything to say about it. I'm going to end up doing this on YouTube instead. At some point. I gotta get brave. Brave heart. I have to get brave. And I have some transitions that I have going on. So I'm trying to deal with my life too. And I have to go to life coaching school, because that's what I want to do. And I want to travel and talk to people about these things that happen in our community, and why everybody's just okay with these things happening and nobody's saying anything. Because that is part of our problem. We're not addressing anything. Oh, that's just how it is. No, it's not. And stop just accepting things. Like, what is this? We're so complacent. Like, and that's what we're supposed to be. In order for all this chaos to ensue, we have to be completely complacent with bullshit. So, and I'm off topic again. So back to the transgender thing. Yes, they should divulge. When? I have no clue. The men that have transitioned to women, they need to divulge quickly, Because, and the funny part is, there's probably lots of men are going to be cool with it. Like, we're so screwed up about the idea of having children. Like, the Maury show is a disgrace. The fact that people are dancing about this child not having a father and you not having brought someone to this earth as a pleasure and a joy is just sad to me. Like, that whole structure, and the fact that, once again, somebody's profiting off of our foolishness. It's the minstrel show known all over again. Yes, I'm off topic again. They need to divulge quickly because, and yes, a lot of men are going to love that. As long as they can poke it, they probably won't care. Women are probably feeling that way because, oh, it's a woman, it's sensitive. She's sensitive, she'll understand. But no, he's supposed to be a he, so he has to act. Whoever you're dating, just tell them the truth. Criminal, bisexual, I'm gay on the side, I'm bisexual on the side, I'm straight as heck. Just whatever you're into, just tell. Like, people will talk about how they're so real. I'm real. I'm the realist. I looked really old doing that. Don't care. But if you're real, the definition of that is authenticity. You can't be running around here lying about who you are. If you bone dudes on the side and you're a dude, you need to tell whoever you're dating, because you don't know what you're doing to other people's lives. If you're a woman and you're whatever happens in the situation you're doing, you need to tell whoever you're dating, because it's ridiculous. Just be honest. If you're a criminal and you might steal your girlfriend's money, I'm kidding, but just be real about who you are in the moment. You know, you don't have to talk about who you were unless it's going to affect someone's life immediately. You know, and I think sexuality, because that's a bonding situation in relationships, is that time. So you probably need to talk about the ramifications of a transgender disclosure on another person, and what effects it's going to have on that relationship or that person. So you either need to learn how to vet the people you're dating very well so that you know that it's received, or I don't know. Another tricky subject. But just tell people who you are. Quit trying to be sneaky. It's not necessary. And if you want to do presto changeo, then you need to own your presto changeo. Because people will turn from one thing to the other and then get mad about pronouns. The pronouns not what matters. It's, are you living up to this persona you've decided that you wanted to live, this life you wanted to live on this plane? Like, are you living up to it fully, emotionally, physically, spiritually? Most of them are not. So, now that I've talked about 80 things during this one, I always do that because I'm a silly goose. Anyway, I love y'all. That's why I do this. So, because I love y'all. And I want us to be better. And I want us to find joy in each other and inside ourselves, and we don't have to look elsewhere for it. And I want us to be stronger in our hearts, minds, spirits, and our bodies too, actually, so that we can stay on this planet and especially on this continent so that we may have it back. Because that is what we're supposed to do. And I love y'all. This is More Camille signing out. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.